Hello and welcome to GT Sports Mates. We're going to be doing the daily races and we're going to be at the Willow Springs International Raceway, otherwise known as Big Willow. What can we say about this track? So, good track, very slippy track though, so you've got to be very careful, especially in the cars which we are allowed in this daily race, N400s. A little lower than we're normally driving. We tend to stay around the GR3s, GR4s, but driving the N400, it's a completely different race. These cars, they do not act like a race car whatsoever. They don't turn, they don't brake. They're quick, don't get me wrong, in a straight line they are very quick. But without having the confidence to brake late in the corners and turn, it's almost worse to have the speed. You can see we're on super softs, which are the best tyres. Luckily, they've allowed us to have them whilst they give us this track. So this track, like I said, very slippy, so you want as much grip as you possibly can, which in these cars you're not going to get a lot of that grip, unfortunately. So they have graced us with some super soft tyres just to make it a little bit easier. But does it work? I don't know. To be honest with you, the car's kind of sliding all over the place. So there's two Porsches you can choose from. We will be driving the 911 GT3 on the 09 plate, and the other one you can drive is the Carrera RS. That's a 95 plate. I tried that one. Fun car if you're going to be drifting. Absolute pig if you're not. It just slides absolutely everywhere. And on this track, like I said, it's such a slippy track, and if you do go off, the runoffs are massive. There's such a big gap between the actual edge of the track and the barriers that if you do go off, you can lose a good 10 seconds sometimes trying to get back on track. So I decided to go against using the Carrera, jumped in the GT3, set a good qualifying time, and there we go, in pole position, which I was not expecting. I will admit that, was not expecting that, but it's so close between first and 10th place. There's only a second separates first and 10th. That's how crucial a good qualifying time was. Like I said, was not expecting to get a pole. Hoped to be at least top 5. But I was pleasantly surprised with getting the pole. Gonna be a good start. Hopefully, let's say that. Let's hope to get a good start, because as we know, first corners on any track, there tends to always be issues. Let's just say issues. So we're going to hope that that doesn't happen, and we hope we don't get wiped off on the first corner. Interestingly, the guy second, we can just see him there in the blue Porsche, going for the 911 Carrera. Very bold move. There's only one more of them, and he's at the very bottom of the table. So that just shows how difficult that car is to drive. So giving that car such a qualifying run to get into second, that guy absolutely drove the limits of that car. Well done to him. He deserves to be in second. Actually, he deserves to be in first to get that high up, but unfortunately just a few milliseconds slower. And I guarantee if he was driving the GT3, he probably would have been in pole. Very well driven to get into second place. So here we go anyway, we're in the race now. 11 cars, slightly smaller daily race lobby, I'll be honest, but a lot of people don't particularly like to drive the M400. Like I said, they're not very racy. They're a bit of a pig to handle, so it's not everyone's cup of tea. I thought daily races, let's give it a go, see how we get on, and that's exactly what we're going to do. It's been a while since I've done an N400 race. In fact, I can't actually remember doing the last N400 race. It was that long ago. So yeah, it's almost like a new experience for me as well, this. Okay, so coming through turn 5 now onto turn 6 Monroe Ridge, which then brings us on to almost a straight. It's almost a straight, I say that because there is actually a slight kink in the road, but it's completely flat, and then you go from turn 6 all the way down into the turn 8, the sweeper. This is completely flat out through here. So careful, looking at that 200, braking just after, hard on the brakes just after, to turn that nose in and get it to grip that apex. Because if you run wide there, like I almost did, and if you can see the carnage behind, very easy to run wide, and if you do, that will be the end of your race. You're going to just plummet down the table. So I was extremely happy to get round the first lap without having any issue. coming up now to turn 2. Rabbit ear. I didn't name these corners. I don't know why they named this. Don't blame me. That's just what it's called. Rabbit ear. Taking me time a little bit more than the first lap because there is a gap there, as you can see, between first and second. I felt a little bit more comfortable getting a decent first lap in. Having no one wipe me out was an excellent start, so I instantly felt a little bit more comfortable. But maybe a little bit too comfortable actually. I eased off a little bit too much. As you can see, the gap has very, very quickly started to close between first and second again. So I really need to start pushing here. Don't want to lose any more speed on this track than you do already lose with the sliding, and I don't want to lose any position. There's number 2 going off track there, just about getting it back on. Very, very well done him to get that car back on the track. Coming around turn 8 now, to sweep it up to my absolute nemesis, turn 9. And the Spaniard in second. Let's just say this is where this race starts to get interesting. This guy in the yellow GT3, absolutely fantastic on this track. Put so much pressure on. Very, very good race from this point on. And you know it's a good race when you're doing it, and you start getting a little bit nervous. Your heart starts racing a little bit because of the competition coming up. That's what it was like racing this guy. This guy was very, very quick. Probably actually quicker than myself on this track, so he must have just had a little bit of a bad start with the qualifying. I think he actually started in 5th place though, so he's made up 4 places on the first lap. That's how good this guy actually is. So I'm doing my absolute best now to defend from the Spaniard in second. All the time whilst trying to still race competitively. I want to get away from the pack as much as I can. I know if I get away, the Spaniard's going to get away, so it'll basically become a 2-horse race for first position. As long as neither one of us go off track or wipe each other out, we should at least come home first and second. So here we go again. Back to turn 9, the nemesis as I like to call it. Braking very hard, turning in very, very early. Probably a little bit too early that time actually. Just going a little bit over the curve, which I didn't want to do. Like I said, if you just so much as touch that, it can just pull you clean off track. You don't want to be going anywhere near the edge of the track really. So we're now on lap 3. The Spaniard absolutely flat. You can see the speed he's carrying. I don't know how he's getting so much speed through some of these corners. It's absolutely amazing drive. Different techniques here though. I went up wide through Rabbit's Ear at turn 2 and pulled it back in towards the centre. He started closer and went wide on the exit. Which way is quicker? Can't quite tell. Maybe his way was slightly quicker, maybe mine was slightly quicker. Maybe it's exactly the same, but I'm not doing well here, sliding through that corner and almost opening up the door for the Spaniard there. Really not wanting to do that. Coming down into turn 5, which is a very, very slippy and quite difficult left turn. Climbing up to Monroe Ridge, where there's a little bit of a crest there, so you can get a little bit of a real fun. Not when there's someone right behind you though. You really don't want to be losing any traction on the road there. So here we go. Round the sweeper up to turn 9. He's gone for the lunge down the centre. He's got the move done. He's just hit the gravel low. Will he be able to pull it off? I don't think he will. I just got the traction. Getting back past him on to the home straight for the last time. And there we go. That's a P1 for me. Extremely happy. Almost lost it at the nemesis on turn 9. The Spaniard almost had me on the last corner, and it wouldn't have been the first time that's happened. But then absolutely fantastic race. Absolutely loved it. So that's us at Willow Springs done. We'll see you all next time.